Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the Football Terrace. We're here to talk Chelsea, their move for Kai Havertz, and a really big boost that has been broadcast across social media this morning. Before we do that, do me a big favour. Please hit the like button, hit the share button. Really important to the channel that you get that done. If you're subscribing right now, which I know a lot of you are, growing every single day, which is amazing, or you're an existing subscriber, please turn on the notifications so you know when we go live or upload new content. Morning S, hope you are well, hope you're good. Let's see what some of these live comments are saying. What's that say? Chelsea and Man United will make the top four. Yeah, I pretty much agree. I pretty much agree on that. I really do. Gavin here says, I think Chelsea will draw with Liverpool. Might lose to Wolves, not an easy game. I still think they'll make the top four, irrespective of that. But I want to talk about Kai Havertz this morning because it's a deal that's kind of slowed down a lot in recent weeks, and I think it's important to apply a level of context to that. There is this notion that Chelsea get all their deals done speed of light, and we kind of know that isn't true. One, the Ziyech deal was meant to be a January deal that ended up happening after the deadline, which means it was late. You got the situation with Timo Werner, and it was presented to us as sort of a bolt from the blue. Dare I say, a shock signing, because he was expected to go to Liverpool. And then Timo Werner concerns, but actually, I was in conversations with Chelsea since before lockdown. So that in itself was a 3 or 4 month process to get done. The Kai Havertz situation itself is a difficult one because Bayern Leverkusen are trying to drive the price up and get as much money as possible. Chelsea will undoubtedly try and get that price down, there's no doubt. The interesting factor of what's come out in the last 24 hours is that Kai Havertz has reportedly told his representatives, and it's been fed into the Chelsea hierarchy, that with or without Champions League football, Kai Havertz will sign. That's a massive boost because what that enables, and Chelsea, by the way, depending on what happens in the FA Cup game this weekend, only have a couple of weeks left of football because although they're in the Champions League still, the likelihood of them overturning the game against Bayern Munich is slim. So in the next 2 to 3 weeks, their football season will undoubtedly be over. That will then enable them to go full steam ahead in trying to get these players signed. Chelsea, for me right now, will keep a close eye on the Kai Havertz situation. If anybody else comes in with some legitimate bids, they may up their game. They may step up the speed of their process. But right now, Chelsea's main focus as a football club is the task in hand, which is getting into that and securing Champions League football. It isn't the requirement of Champions League football that's going to dictate Kai Havertz coming to Chelsea or not, but it's Chelsea's main focus right now as a football club. And I think that too much conversation of transfers can become a bit of a distraction for a team. So Chelsea fans, expect there to be no major movement in the Kai Havertz deal for the next 2 to 3 weeks. That is something that I'm convinced by based on what we're reading. But also know that you don't need Champions League football to sign Kai Havertz. This is going to be thrown at you by all of your rivals day in, day out. You can't sign him without this. You won't sign him without that. You can't sign him with this. You can't sign him with that. For me, that's just simply not true. I know people look at Chelsea and attack the history of the club, but 17, 18 years now have become one of the biggest clubs in the world and have the pulling power to sign people with or without Champions League football. And for me, it's clear, it's obvious. They signed Pulisic last January. There's no guarantee of Champions League football when they signed him, as an example. Ziyech and Werner have signed with no guarantee of Champions League football. That in itself tells you that you don't need Champions League football to do it. So just don't be dragged into any nonsense arguments with rivals. They'll banter you with it, but just take the banter on the chin and brush it away in relation to that. But it's a deal that I think is going to happen in the next 3 to 4 weeks, and we'll get it done over the line. So just reading another article here. Apologies. Let's do some of your live comments here. Geez, Ziyech got knocked out of the Champions League at the group stages, then went to the Europa League and got knocked out. Yeah. Was that Ziyech's fault, or was that the team's issue? Thomas says, I agree, Terry. Fans don't want to admit, but a whole generation of young footballers have only known Chelsea to be a monster club. Exactly. You know, anybody like 25 years old and younger won't remember pre-Roman. And that's it. And that's what it comes down to. Also, that same generation don't look at Arsenal in the same way that my generation and older do, because Arsenal haven't been massively successful in that time. You know? If you're a young football fan, maybe 8, 9, 10 years old, at this moment in time, you're probably shocked this season, oh, Spurs are suddenly not great. Because all you would have known in your football life is Spurs being the top team. You know, a lot of young fans right now, they know United's history maybe, but they don't understand how good we were because they weren't alive for it. And this is a cycle of football. It really is. Rank Werner, Havertz, Ziyech and Pulisic. How good do you think they are? When you say rate, I mean, I look at it this way. I think Ziyech and Werner are on that borderline world-class standard. And then you've got the Pulisics and the Kai Havertz, who are exceedingly talented youngsters, who, again, I think over the next 2 or 3 years can develop to be best in class in their positions. They have the ability to do that. You know, we know the best left-sided attackers in the Premier League now are, you know, Mane, Rashford, Son, just to name a few. Pulisic, in the next 18 months, has the capabilities of moving himself into that category. That's how good. Do I think Kai Havertz is a generational talent? Potentially, yeah. I mean, he's killing it in one of the biggest leagues in the world at such a tender age. So, yeah, of course he has the ability to go on and do more, win more, be more, and be that generational talent. Thank you, Riyadh. I appreciate that. Someone said Rashford, behave. Bro, how many goals he scored from wide position? Rashford is one of the best left-sided attackers in the league. Everybody knows this, bruv. Come on, man. Don't hate on that. Hi, Fast Forward says, been following this channel when you had 15,000 subs. Good job. Go on, Terry. Talk about the Claude situation. Yeah, I'm not going to speak about the Claude situation today because I think it's... What I will say is that Robbie and AFTV have made the correct decision in what they've done right now. It's not a great situation for the channel to be in. It had to make that decision, and they made the right decision in doing that. You know, Claude's a friend of mine, and Claude's someone that I have a tremendous amount of respect for. I have never seen anything from him in any situation in front of or behind the camera that would lead me to think there's any deep-lying bigotry within him. But at the same time, he has said something which is highly offensive to a lot of, is all I would say on the matter right now. In terms of going into the deep nuances of it, I'm going to do right now. I'm going to do right now because I don't know enough about the situation. I haven't spoke to Claude, I spoke to Robbie or anybody like that. So yeah, it's one of those situations where what I would say AFTV have done the right thing. Let's do a few more comments now. Premier League teams should be looking at young. Oh, sorry. The Ziyech deal was after January because they thought if he left in January, it would change their chances of winning the Eredivisie or Dutch league, and Rashford might go to Paris Saint-Germain. Well, that's what I'd say first of all. You know, Paris Saint-Germain have made inquiries about Marcus Rashford. That shows you how good he is. Before he signed his new deal with us, Barcelona wanted to sign him. So anyone that doubts Rashford's pedigree is off their rocker. In relation to Ziyech, if Chelsea made the right offers, they only... I get your point of him going in January, but no. Chelsea couldn't get the deal done. If Chelsea offered, they could have got the deal done in January, but they didn't. And I get your point that maybe they wanted to wait until after January, but that's still not Chelsea getting the job done. Chelsea would have preferred to have bought him in January, but they couldn't quite get the deal they wanted done. They had to compromise, in my view. Chelsea will be selling £90 million worth of players, and they will bring in a centre-back and a left-back, is what Sean believes. Yeah, they're going to sell quite a bit, you know. They're definitely going to sell quite a bit. Do you think Chelsea will sign a defender if we get Havertz? I think it would be very unlikely that Chelsea will go this whole summer without signing a defender. Barkley plus money for Declan Rice, apparently. Yeah, Declan Rice is an interesting one. So I haven't really seen him play at centre-back, so I can't really judge him in that. But I think Declan Rice is a really talented player. I really, really do. How fast do you think Sancho, Werner, Havertz will adapt to the Premier League? You never quite know. I mean, look at Bruno Fernandes and how quickly he has done. So they could adapt straight away. Could take him 6 to 9 months. Sancho is the one that I'd be less concerned about because he grew up playing in the English system. He's going to understand English football. It's going to be deep-rooted in him. Equally, there's not going to be a culture shock or culture change or lifestyle change so much for Jadon Sancho, especially if he joins Manchester. It's where he played for City. So it'll be a home from home for him. You know, doesn't need to learn a language, doesn't need to learn the cultures and the customs and the what to do and what not to do. So it makes it nice and easy for him. But I got a feeling they're all going to be hits, to be fair. I think they're all going to be hits in relation to that. But there we go. Listen, everyone who's tuned in this morning, thank you very, very much. As always, do me a big favour. Hit the like button, hit the share button, hit the retweet button. Really important to us as a platform that you get that done. Turn those notifications on, and we'll see you all again very, very soon. Bye-bye.